It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, our elementary edition with two great schools playing our game. Let's meet the students right now. From Dodge Park Elementary School, would you please welcome to our program, from Dodge Park, Steve Menjivar, Chigozie Agodo, and Serena Marr. And from Port Towns Elementary, here they are, Jasmine Garcia Martinez, Jose Arguello, and Jalea Seegers. And now here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, our game board reflects question difficulty. The easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10. Tougher ones, 15, 20, ultimately 25. Toughest of them all. Both teams start out at 50 points. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. And to the 2 rounds today, one of these two great teams will come back to play Kenilworth for the chance to move on to the semifinals and play Bond Mill Elementary School and perhaps then advance to the championship round. Let's make sure everything's working properly. Red team, Chigozie, would you try your buzzer? Thank you, young man. Good luck to you, to Steve and Serena. And Port Towns, Jose, would you try yours? Thank you. It too seems to be in good working order. Jasmine, Jalea, are we ready to play? Let's do this. May the better team win. We go alphabetically D before P. So Dodge Park, Chigozie, start the ball.
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Teams, sadly, because of deforestation and the fact that they're being hunted for bush meat, 25 species of primates are in danger of extinction. What kinds of animals are primates that are in danger of extinction? Port Towns, can you get the first points of today's game?
Animals that are related to monkeys and humans.
Absolutely right. Chimpanzees and apes, those animals that are very closely related to ourselves. Absolutely right. Good. Go.
Science Potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, if ears could vote, they would say that the worst of these was a knife being pushed against the side of a glass bottle. The worst what? Chigozie.
Sound.
Sound, that's right. Like fingernails on a chalkboard. Oof, you can feel it without even hearing it. Good. Red, go.
Let's get physical for 5.
Get physical for 5 points. Teams, there is a science kit that you can use, and you can mix together 2 chemicals to make these very hard substances, the most famous of which sits on the tip of Gibraltar. What are these big, solid, heavy things that you can grow in a dish with magic chemicals? Rocks, like the Rock of Gibraltar. Try again, please, Red.
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams, it's time for the revenge of the porcine antagonists, because the famous game Angry Birds is now followed up with an even more popular game called Bad What? Dodge Park.
Gorillas?
Not gorillas, no. Angry Birds. Well, what they were angry at is getting even with them. It's the revenge of the Bad What? You don't have to ring the bell.
Bad Pigs.
Pigs. It's called Bad Piggies. That's right, because remember, the birds were flinging things to try to kill the pigs. Okay. Good. Come back. 70, 55. Jose, go. And I like how you're talking to each other over there. That's the way to do it.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, this was a shame, but They made a mistake. Hospital workers threw away one of these kinds of renal organs that was supposed to be used for transplantation. What did they throw out, Chigozie, by mistake?
Kidney.
Yeah, they threw out a kidney. But hopefully that man got another kidney. He didn't have to wait too long. Good answer, young man. Go.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, if your mother says, now I want you to eat this because it's going to put meat on your bones, she's hoping that you will grow what kind of tissue on your bones, Dodge Park?
Muscle.
Yeah, put some muscle on those bones, some meat on your bones. That's right. I think Jasmine knew that. You just got to jump in and push that buzzer a little faster. Go Red. 70 points all. Tie score.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline science for 5 points. Oh, it was disgusting. Justin Bieber, he was on stage and he suffered reverse peristalsis. Yep, he did this right in front of everybody. Dodge Park.
Throw up.
He threw up all over the place. That's right. Maybe some people were selling that stuff on eBay. Ooh, 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 ooh. Go Red.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, what same word describes what we call the tops of trees and what kings wear on their heads? Port towns?
Crowns.
Crowns, yeah, the crown of the tree is at the top there. All right, good. 75-75. It's like watching a tennis match here. Good playing, everybody. Go Green.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, because they have odor glands on their thorax, if you disturb these insects, Dodge Park.
Huh? No. I know,
What do you want to tell me, young man?
stink bug.
Yes, indeed. I was going to say the bugs go all smelly on you. Boy, you pulled that one out of the hat at the last moment. Stink bugs it is. Go. Red.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Who says plants can't be pets? Because every year, these seeds are ground into clay figurines that grow into little green sprouts at Christmas time. Dodge Park.
No, chichilla.
What are they, Chigozie?
Chichillas?
Chichillas, that's right, chichilla. You're singing the commercial for us. It's the Chia Pets, that's right. You can get one that's like the head of SpongeBob or some strange animals. Very nicely done. Go Red.
Let's get physical for 10.
Get physical for 10 points. Teams, President Thomas Jefferson back in the 1800s did not believe that the rock that someone gave to him was one of these that had showered down from the heavens in France in 1803. Dodge Park. Not an asteroid. Good try. Port Towns. What did Thomas Jefferson not believe that piece of rock was in his hands that people said had rained down from the heavens on France in 1803?
Comets.
Meteorites. A meteorite is what we wanted. You were all in the right ballpark there. The buzzer is rung. We've come to the end of the first round of Science Bowl. Let's check that score. Port Town 75, Dodge Park 95. We'll be back with round 2 in just a moment. Don't go away.
Diet and exercise are never easy. Then again, neither is dying. Sadly, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke kill nearly 1 million people a year. Most of these deaths could be prevented. Please, talk to your doctor about your risk for diabetes and heart disease. And if your doctor recommends lifestyle changes or medication, listen. The reason so many die is because not enough are willing to change. You can stop it, starting right now. It's your life. Listen to your doctor. Eat better. Get moving.
I always thought being a good mother meant raising my baby myself. But when I got pregnant, I realized I wasn't ready to be a parent. So I did something I thought I could never do. I chose adoption. It was really hard, but I know my baby is with a loving family and has a very bright future.
Sometimes choosing adoption is being a good mother. Visit us at ichooseadoption.org.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. 6 outstanding young people here playing our game today. We've got some tough questions, but boy, are they tough players as well. We're really proud of them. Let's find out about each of them and their schools. Dodge Park, Chigozie. Dodge Park has not been on our show in a while. It's so good to have you back. Tell me about Dodge Park. Who's your principal?
Miss Holmes.
Miss Holmes, and she is here today, and I know how proud she is of you guys. And Miss Barbour is the coach of your team, and she's also helped us judge the Science Bowl, and she is so excited about you being here today. As excited as we are, too. And I know you guys are a little nervous, but you couldn't tell because I know you practiced a lot, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
You're ready for this. Chigozie, tell me, did you have any alternates on your team?
We have Cree Caruso, Tiana Glover, Darcel Harris, and Jamal Alexander.
Boy, and you had those names down pat. Very nice, and I know they appreciate you memorizing them and mentioning their names. We'll bring them out at the end of the show, along with Miss Holmes and Miss Barbour. Tell me about yourself, Chigozie. What do you do in your spare time?
I play soccer for the Cheverly Wolves, and this Saturday we just won our last season game, and we became undefeated and the top soccer team in the whole PG County.
I see how proud you are of that. Congratulations to you and to the Wolves. Tell me what you hope to do someday, professionally.
I would like to be a doctor.
A doctor, yes. And you told me earlier that your mom has told you that you've been saying that ever since you were a little boy, right? And you'd like to go to Yale someday. Before I leave you, what is it about Dodge Park that makes it a special school?
Well, it's a very beautiful school, and we have very nice teachers, and one of our teachers is a famous basketball player.
Really? Who is that? So famous his name can't come to you right now. That's all right.
His last name is Moten.
It's a nice role model to have there. And I like that you described your school as beautiful. I like that, Chigozie. Serena, tell us about yourself. You knew Chia real easily. Do you remember that? Have you ever had a Chia pet?
No.
Kind of a kitschy thing to have. Tell me about yourself. What do you do in your spare time?
I play clarinet, and we play it so well that me and 3 other flutists call each other the 4 Musketeers.
The 4 Musketeers. Wow, you guys are just full of accomplishments over there. And I know you want to go to Princeton someday.
Yes.
And you, too, like Chigozie, want to be a doctor.
Yes.
When did you realize you wanted to be a doctor?
Well, my aunt is a pharmacist, so I was always interested in the medical field, and I just wanted to be a doctor.
That makes perfect sense. I think to be a good doctor, you have a nice manner about you. You're calm and collected, just what you want to see in a doctor. And Steve, nice to have you with us today. You're wearing a band in support of curing autism. Absolutely. I like that, Steve. And you told me you'd like to be a pro football player someday. Is that right? Why so?
Well, because I would like to stay fit and not, like, be obese like some people already are.
Yeah, well, you're certainly going to be fit if you're a pro football player. And I know you play soccer a lot, don't you? You love soccer. And
I played with him one time.
Oh, are you on the Wolves as well?
2 times.
No, we played against each other.
Oh.
First time we lost, but then the second time I scored.
But now you're on the same team, right?
No.
On Science Bowl.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. All right, guys. Keep up your good work in the second half here. Port Towns, nice to have you guys with us. You look great. You're wearing your matching Science Bowl shirts over there. And you're remembering people with your ribbon because what does it stand for, Jose?
Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Absolutely right. We appreciate you doing that, as does the whole community that is concerned about that disease. It's far, far too common in America. Tell me about Port Towns. Your principal's here today, Miss Faribaugh, isn't she?
Yes.
She's a great lady. She's so supportive of this game. And who's the sponsor of your team?
Miss Blackson and Miss Smith.
Wonderful. And they'll be out in just a few moments. And we mentioned that Miss Barbour was the coach of your team, but also Mr. Bruce on Dodge Park. Is that right?
Miss Burns.
Miss Burns. Sorry about
Mr.
that. And bring him out in just a few moments. Getting back to Port Towns. Jose, tell me, let me ask you about Port Towns. What is it that you brag about? When you tell people, I go to Port Towns, guess what we got?
Well, the teachers are really nice and they help us a lot. And they make learning fun.
Boy, isn't that important? If it's not fun, you just can't get your heart into it. If the teacher loves it, you're going to love it. And it's that example that they set. And Jose, someday what do you want to do?
I want to be a soccer player, but my backup plan would be to be an author.
An author. Have you written anything as yet?
Yeah, I had a project for school and I wrote it and my teacher tried to get it published, but I try and work on it now again.
Absolutely. Keep resubmitting that manuscript. A lot of authors, it takes a long time before people realize how good they are. Nice to have you here. Fine young man. I'm glad they picked you as the captain, and keep up your soccer playing. Jalea, tell me about yourself. A veterinarian, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she had a dog, and then you couldn't keep it where you were living, but now you think you might get a new one?
Yeah, when till we move.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. What do you do in your spare time?
Sometimes I would read nonfiction books or fictional books sometimes. I like fictional books better, and science books really about space.
Space, yeah, that's great. Would you ever like to fly in space yourself?
I'm not really sure. I might get a little bit scared.
That would be absolutely normal, but imagine the great views you would have up there. You're a good player. You keep it up in the second half. And Jasmine, nice to have you here. You told me you have a microscope at home, right?
Yes.
And you've seen some amazing things. You looked at the eye of a mosquito, and boy, it looked back at you with like all kinds of eyes, right?
Yes.
It's so multifaceted. What do you want to do someday?
Someday, I would like to also cure cancer, and I always wanted to live in a house, so I'll be able to give people who don't have homes a place where they could live.
That's just wonderful. That's so generous of you. A place for homeless people. And then, of course, the skills you're developing now with the microscope, if you're going to go into cancer research, you're going to use those skills then. So you're on the right track, Jess, and you keep up your good work, all right? Let's get back into our game. Close score, Port Town 75, Dodge Park 95. Last correct answer came from the red team. So she goes, we've got lots of high-valued questions left, so you tell us where.
You sure? Zoo Parade for 20.
Zoo Parade for 20 points. Teams, there are only 2 mammals that are native to the Hawaiian Islands because the Hawaiian Islands are so far away from land. I'll give you 20 points if you can give me the name of one or the other. One flew in and one swam in. A mammal. A native Hawaiian mammal. One flew in, one swam in. Give me either one, Dodge Park.
Whale.
Not a whale. Good try. Port Towns, can you give me one of the 2, only 2, native Hawaiian mammals? One flew in and one swam in.
Dolphin?
Not a dolphin. The one that swam in was a seal. The one that flew in was a bat. A bat, a mammal that can fly. Try again, Red.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, we human beings don't work too well if our electrolytes go too low, which is why we're kind of hardwired to eat a lot of this condiment in our diets. We need to eat a lot of what? Dodge Park.
Vegetables?
Not vegetables, no, condiment. What condiment do we need enough of? Because our bodies don't work real well if our electrolytes go too low.
Salt?
Yes, salt. That's why a lot of those sports drinks are highly salted to replenish what we lose in our sweats. Nice answer. Almost tied again, 95-85. Jose, you go.
Dateline Science for 10.
Dateline Science for 10 points. Teams, in addition to mumps and chicken pox, this M-initial childhood disease characterized by a rash got its own vaccine back in 1953. Can you name it for me? Dodge Park.
Measles. I would like to pass to Serena.
Measles.
Measles. Dr. Serena, yes, she's got the pass from Dr. Chigozi. Absolutely. Measles it is. Go.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Multiple choice question, teams. If you carve your initials in the side of a tree's bark, that is not a good thing to do. You could kill the tree because the food cannot go from the leaves down to the roots. What you are disrupting is the tube area known as the phloem, the palisades layer, or the protoplasm. Which of those conducts the food from the leaves to the roots, Chigozi?
Protoplasm.
Not the protoplasm, no. Is it the phloem, the palisades layer, or the protoplasm that conducts the food from the leaves to the roots?
Phloem.
Phloem it is, absolutely right. Good answer. Come back. All right, 105 to 100. We got a close match. Go, Jose.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, the 3 tiniest bones in your body, the hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup, they're very hard to break, and they are important because they let you do this. They let you do what, Dodge Park?
Here.
Here, you got that right. The 3 little tiny inner ear bones, they're middle ear bones. Nicely done. Go red.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, recently scientists found a 100-million-year-old spider attacking a fly, both of which have been trapped in this solidified tree resin that... Port Towns.
Sap.
More information, please.
Tree sap.
Not quite, not quite. This tree sap, Dodge Park, you owe them. This tree sap that this spider and this fly were trapped in 100 million years ago, that hardened tree sap is known as what?
Honey is made of bees.
What do you think, guys?
Syrup?
Amber. Amber. It was the same thing you saw in Jurassic Park. Remember the mosquito that was trapped inside and they extracted the DNA from it? Go red. 120, 100. Still have a 20-point advantage.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Team, sadly, Keith Campbell died recently. He and Ian Wilmot, the Scottish doctor, back in the 1990s, produced a sheep by the name of Dolly by a very unusual method. What did he do to produce Dolly the sheep? He cloned her. That was the first cloned animal, the cloned sheep. Try again, red.
Oh, let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, big words but a simple answer. The umbra and the penumbra are the various shadows that form when one heavenly body gets in front of another during full and partial whats? Eclipses. Eclipses. A full eclipse and a partial eclipse. And then you have a shadow, a full shadow, the umbra, and a slightly less full shadow known as the penumbra. Try again, red.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, if your science fair project has you with little radish seeds, putting them inside of a paper towel that is wet with water and vinegar, you're probably trying to see how plants grow when they get this kind of rain on them. Port Towns.
Acid rain?
Yeah, acid rain because vinegar's an acid. Boy, you were all jumping on that one. You knew that one well. Good. Tie score 120 all. Jose.
Science potpourri for 20.
Science potpourri for 20 points. Teams, they were going to call this button on the computer the interrupt button, but instead they changed it to another name, so when your computer is going crazy and you just want to get out and take control, you press what button, Dodge Park?
ESC.
Yes, you do. That means escape. Yes, indeed. Well done, Chigozi. Go.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, you know, bubbles are iridescent. They show all the colors of the rainbow because the outer edge of the bubble is just like this piece of glass that breaks up the white light into all the colors. Dodge Park. What's that called?
Crystal.
Not a crystal. No. Good try. Port Towns, what is that piece of glass that breaks up white light into all the colors of the rainbow? It is exactly the same as what you find on the outside of a bubble.
Is it a reflection?
Any idea, guys? It's a prism. It's a prism. Try again, red.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, the reason why some people in northern Maryland didn't feel that earthquake a few weeks ago was because it only registered 2.1 on this scale. On what scale, Dodge Park?
Oh, K. It's K something. KG or KM.
Any idea, Chigozi?
KG.
Not KG. No. What's the name of the scale that is used to rate earthquakes? It was only 2.1 on this scale, which is why people didn't feel it, Jose.
Richter scale?
Again, please?
Richter scale?
Judges are saying yes, they're going to give that to you. Richter scale. Good. Go. Green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems, 20 points. Teams, be careful how many really hot peppers you eat, because you could increase your chances of getting cancer in what food tube? What food tube, Dodge Park?
Esophagus.
Yes, sir. The esophagus. Good. All right. The high-valued questions in every category remain. Which one? Chigozi.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25. Big one in that category, teams. If a starfish regrows an arm, or if a lizard regrows its tail, That process is known by what term, Port Towns?
Regeneration.
Yes, sir. Regeneration gets you 25 points. Go. Green.
Science potpourri for 25.
Science potpourri for 25 points. Look at the TV monitor, a visual question, teams. Where's Nemo? There he is. There's a clownfish among the tentacles of a sea anemone. Chigozie?
Algae?
Not algae, no. Port Towns, I'll repeat the question for you. That clownfish is swimming among the tentacles of a sea anemone. Normally it would be stung, but the sea anemone doesn't sting that clownfish because the sea anemone gets protection and the fish cleans up the sea anemone. So they both work together. They both get something out of this arrangement. What kind of S initial word describes an arrangement, a relationship where both parties benefit? What do you think?
What do you think?
It's a word called symbiosis. Symbiosis. They both benefit, unlike parasitism, where one wins and one doesn't. Go green again. 165 to 160. 5-point advantage. Jose.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25 points. Teams, most of the rubber gloves that we wear today are made of this L initial substance that actually comes from a rubber. Dodge Park.
Lactics. Wait.
Say it again.
I'll pass it to Serena.
Serena?
Latex.
Judges? Yes, indeed. Latex it is. Good. Go. Red. Latex, that oozy substance that comes from the rubber plant.
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical for 25 points. Teams, two-part answer. Listen carefully. The Pacific Ocean is called the Ring of Fire because it is seismologically and geologically active, meaning what two kinds of events occur around the Ring of Fire? What two kinds of events?
Volcano and earthquakes.
You got them both. Volcanoes and earthquakes. Perfect answer. Go. Red. 2 questions left.
Body system for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Look at the monitor, please. This is a visual question. Teams, archaeologists recently found a mummy, and all of the teeth had infections. We think the infections went back into the head, into those spaces where they caused an infection and caused the mummy to die. What are those spaces called in your head? Dodge Park.
Sino. I'd like to pass to Serena. What did you say?
Serena?
Sinuses.
Sinuses is exactly right, and the buzzer is rung, which means our game is over. Looks like Dodge Park has done it. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment.
I knew I needed help paying for college. I've always wanted to be a teacher. I used to make worksheets for my friends to do. No one ever wanted to come over. My guidance counselor told me about federal student aid, and my mom helped me fill out the free application. I got the grants and loans that made school possible. There is a way to pay for school. You just have to find it. My name is Caitlin. I'm going to be a special education teacher. I'm going to live my dream.
For years, scientists have explored remote corners of the Earth, searching for exotic substances that might help prevent cancer. At last, man has discovered a secret place where powerful remedies can actually be found. Medical research shows that a vegetarian diet rich in fruits, vegetables and whole grains can help prevent many types of cancer. Wherever you live, cancer prevention is as close as your grocery store. To learn more, call 866-906-WELL.
Welcome back. What a great game today. I don't know who had more fun, the kids or myself and the judges. We are so proud of our 6 players there. Our final tally today is Port Towns 165, Dodge Park 235. Congratulations, Steve. He's all smiles over there. Steve and Chigozie and Serena. And look at the alternates back there. They've got a shadow team +1. Darcel, Karik, Tiana, Jamal. And thanks to Mr. Burns and Miss Barbour and Miss Holmes, the principal, who was my student at one time. And we're happy to have her here today. And Port Towns, I want to see some big smiles. You guys really, really gave them a run for their money. Jasmine and Jose and Jalea, you played a super game. And I want to see you come back and play our game again. Miss Faribaugh, Miss Blackson, Miss Smith, I know how proud you are of these young people. Thank you for your advocacy of breast cancer awareness. And our 2 doctors over here, Chigozie and Serena, you really made the difference today. Give yourselves a hand, all of you. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time on another edition of Science Bowl. Bye-bye.